Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. Today we have a full born. We have Martin back. We have Cam back. Jake, Sean, Anthony.
Gentlemen,
There's Sam.
This kid looks like he witnessed a murder on Sunday afternoon. My goodness gracious.
I'm just gonna say my room is darker today to display the dark times that I'm in right now as a fan of this Bears football program.
So Martin's at the Atlanta airport right now.
Hartsfield Jackson represent. There we go.
Yeah. So our records. So Martin this week is going to have to pick the side and the total for every game because he needs to catch up. Cam, you got to do the same as well. So just letting you know that now. And then Sean is 0 for 3 on his locks. Anthony is 0 for 3 on his locks. So let's go ahead and get into the first game. So we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Gillette Stadium. Tom Brady's first time coming through the visitors' tunnel. All the hype in the world. The Adele song was awesome. Tampa is favored by 7, and the over-under is 49.5. All right, so my take on this game is that you guys know how, like, in the Super Bowl, the first quarter is always, like, usually not high scoring because teams are like kind of nervous because of how big of a game it is. And like the moment is just huge. So they start off a little slow, like receivers are dropping balls, like timing might not be there. So you guys can also like veto this pick if you don't agree with it, but I'm taking Bucks -7 and I'm also taking the first quarter under. So if you guys say I can't do that, then we can do that. But I just think that it's 10 points, by the way. I think that hits. I think they're just going to start off slow. And I think that Brady's going to be like probably more nervous for this game than he was for the Super Bowl last year. And I think that Bill saw last year, he missed the playoffs. Brady won the Super Bowl. Everybody's like, well, we know who was like the guy when they were together and who was just like the other guy. So Bill wants to break that narrative and he wants to win this game more than probably any other game on the schedule. So for that reason, I'm taking the first quarter under and Bucks -7 because they're a much better football team.
Brady is fucking Brady. Brady doesn't get scared. Brady doesn't walk into a stadium, especially with Bill Belichick, and just be like, fuck, I'm scared.
I'm not saying like he's scared, like he's gonna like play bad. I'm just saying like the first couple like drives might not be touchdowns. And that's all I need. So
but at the end of the day, you know, at some point, Brady's going to tap into the Brady conscience and just rip Belichick to fucking shreds.
Tom knows everything they're going to do on defense.
Exactly. I don't know, back to the rumors and headlines and leaks and shit, but I forgot who. I think it was Brady's trainer. He said Bill Belichick never, like, upgraded as a coach. It was just Tom becoming a better fucking player. And I feel like that just makes Bill's job 100 times easier when he has fucking Brady, who's evolving throughout the season, and he doesn't even have to do shit. He just has to sit there and be Bill, and he just gets this maestro head coach job position or fucking label just because Brady is tearing them alive. And I think Brady is gonna go in there. He's gonna have the vengeance of fucking Bill talking shit and just not even trying to say goodbye to him. He's gonna go in there and rip them to fucking shreds. This game is going to be a blowout. If I could make this my lock of the week, I definitely would. But there's another lock of the week I want to put out there. But besides the point, this game is going to be a fucking blowout. The Patriots are not going to score. The Bucs defense is just, for some reason, high intense as fuck. They have a good rushing, and Mac Jones isn't going to know what the fuck to do, and he's going to get flustered, and they're not going to score. So I'm going to take the under on this one. But I am going to go with the spread and go with the Bucs.
See, you guys are saying, oh, Brady's not going to be scared. Brady's not going to be scared. He might not be, but the other dudes on Tampa are going to walk into that stadium and be like, this isn't even a football game. Like, this is like a coronation of the greatest football player ever, greatest quarterback ever coming back. It's going to be a weird atmosphere. That's why I like that first quarter under. By the way, a sneak stat, Tom Brady, the Patriots, when he was in the Super Bowl with the Patriots, they never scored a touchdown in the first quarter.
Yep.
All 9 of the Super Bowls that he played in.
That's why I said this is like Super Bowl.
I like the Patriots +7. I think what they're going to do they're going to find a way to control the tempo of the game, and they're going to keep the Bucs offense off the field. Now, do they win the game? I don't know. What would be awesome is if Brady got the ball with 2 minutes left and had to drive the length of the field for a game-winning touchdown. That would be incredible, which I think it might be like that.
Why? It's not going to happen, but why do you even think that?
Here's why, King. Bill Belichick has coached in this league for 47 years. This game means more than any regular season game that he's ever played. He's going to put together a game plan. Now, what the Rams did last week to beat them, they had a lot of downfield passing, play action. Yeah, Stafford and Deshaun Jackson and Robert Woods and Kupp are better than Mac Jones and fucking Kendrick Bourne and Aguilar. I don't know why they signed those two. I just feel like it's going to be a gritty, grinded out, lower scoring game. I'm not picking the under, but I would probably lean to it if I had to. And I like Patriots +7. I do. We'll see who's right. We will see who's right.
I don't know how Tampa Bay is only favored by 7 points in this game. Tom Brady's coming back to Foxborough with vengeance. Story leaked this week that, Bill Belichick wouldn't even give him the time of day after he's done so much for him. I think this game is going to be a freaking blowout. I would take Tampa Bay -13, -14 in this one.
Wow.
And absolutely taking the over 49.5. I couldn't even tell you the name of anybody on the Patriots, defense that's anywhere going to come close to, defending Tom Brady and stopping that Bucs offense. I love the over on this one. 49.5 is, 7 touchdowns, a little bit more than that. Absolutely doable. And Tampa Bay -7. And if that spread was even increased a little bit, I would absolutely take that one as well.
But I could see easily Tampa going down, scoring a touchdown after first couple punts on the first 2 drives. And then once it gets to that point, once the live line for the Bucs goes up to -800 or something, I think that's when Bill Belichick starts to get chippy. That's when they start to play some hard-nosed football, and I think the Patriots come down and score another touchdown before the quarter ends. And I think because of that, I'm taking +7 here.
Wi-Fi is as bad as Matt Nagy's play calling. Let me just fucking put that out there.
I'm at war right now.
That hurt him to his core.
Yeah, that hit deep for that.
Sean, pick this fucking.
That got deep.
Yeah, Sean, what are you thinking?
I don't agree with your philosophy that Tom Brady's gonna be scared. I don't think he gets scared. I think he's a robot. And
he's never come out of the visitor's tunnel before, Sean. Imagine that. He's been there for 20 years.
It doesn't matter. I don't think he likes him anymore. I think he's past that. I think this game's gonna be a blowout, and I have the Bucs.
I'll back off of what Jake was saying. I think this game, like I've said, nobody knows how to beat Tom Brady like Bill Belichick does. And one thing that we all know Tom Brady does not play well with is press man coverage. And the Patriots got corners that can play press man. And then the other thing, too, Patriots can run the ball. Damian Harris is pretty good. They got that other guy, Stevenson. He's not bad. I think the Patriots are going to control the clock, and they're going to try and win on defense. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up, but that's why I'm staying away from the spreads. But
the Patriots just got to control time of possession.
Yeah,
and it'll be a close game.
Hey, by the way, just like what Jake was saying about the rest of the guys in the Bucs walking into that stadium, Gronk, former Patriot, also first time walking back into that stadium. Also, AB. I actually don't think AB ever played in that stadium. I'm pretty sure the only game they played was in Miami, I think. Never played there. But it is kind of like a revenge threesome, if you think about it, because they're all 3 of those guys are entering this stadium as former Patriots. There's probably going to be some guys in a Gronk jersey, a Tom jersey, probably not an AB jersey, but Patriots jerseys of those guys, and they're going to see that, and it's just going to be probably the most anticipated regular season game of my life, I would say, up to this point. The hype is crazy. I'm super excited to watch. That being said, it's going to be a blowout. The Patriots fucking stink. They can't control the ball if they don't have any players. Their team sucks. The Bucs are, coming off a loss. Tom Brady, this was his first game that he threw for 400-plus yards and didn't win, ever. He's pissed, and this was all the motivation he needed on top of coming off a loss. So
This game comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that's special teams. And Bill Belichick knows his special teams.
Yes, he does.
Olszewski is going to be back there returning some bombs.
Gunnar Olszewski, anytime touchdown scorer, the value on that would be astronomical.
Gunnar Olszewski fucks.
Yes, he does.
So here we have the toilet bowl, ladies and gentlemen. And the game that nobody wants to watch, but they kind of have to just to see, how much shit's going to be stewing on the goddamn field. Matt Nagy, Dan Campbell, both first-year coaches. They still have yet to kind of figure it out. I do like Detroit +3 here. It's honestly kind of crazy to see Chicago favored in the game. And I'm sure they're not really used to it. And I like the over on this one. This game might head into overtime. I'm thinking maybe like a 28 to 31 type of game. It might be a little high flying, high scoring, and I like Detroit plus the points and the over on this one.
Yeah, I'm in pure utter pain right now, and Jake, I'm going into war mode against you because this isn't fucking over.
I liked the Bears last week. I'm on your side. I liked them. Didn't know Justin Fields was going to have one pass attempt through midway into the second fucking quarter, for God's sake.
That's not his fault. That's not his fault.
I didn't say it was his fault. It's somebody's fault. We got to fucking find out whose fault it is. Because they're taking money out of our fans' pockets. They're taking
We already know whose fault this. We already know whose fault it is, and it's General Matthias Nagy.
Yes, Sam, I have a question. So do you think that there is a possibility that Matt Nagy purposely called a bad game to make Justin Fields look bad so his decision to start Dalton Pryor looks better? Yeah,
I think Matt Nagy is so narcissistic that he probably threw that game to say, look at you guys, look at you idiots, Andy Dalton was better to begin with. And it showed because seeing that in person, they protected 5. Like, they didn't hold back any of the tight ends. They never had Montgomery block or anything. They had only their linemen protecting him the entire game. He had nothing to protect him. He stayed in the pocket because Matt Nagy told him to stay in the pocket. They were in the same fucking pass play 15 times in a row. And every single time, Myles Garrett gets right through Jason Peters. And I was saying it to one of my buddies. You get guys like Aaron Donald or TJ Watt, Khalil Mack, and you're throwing double, triple coverage on them. And so you get a guy like Myles Garrett, and Matt Nagy goes, no. We're going to put a 39-year-old, basically retired offensive lineman on single coverage against him who could barely move his feet anymore. And after, I think, the 4th time he got sacked, I was like, it was kind of getting away from me because I was at the game, and I was like, this is a lot of times to be sacked. And he got to me, I was like, they do not have a lot of yards right now. I think it was like they got like 2 or 3 plays that they had more than 11 yards on. And I think that might have been their only fucking yards for the entire game. It was atrocious. And I think, you're definitely right. Matt Nagy blew it. And he's given all of his bullshit excuses, blah, blah, after the game. He needs to be out, but they're not going to fire him because the Bears ownership sucks. Sell the team. And then, of course, pissed me off because today they come out and they're like, oh, well, we signed a new deal to move into Arlington Heights or Arlington or whatever. Yeah. Like, I was like, typical Bears just trying to solve a problem by creating one that doesn't exist. No one cares about a new fucking stadium. People care about the shitty coach that you have calling plays and this god-awful offense. And anyone who says it's Justin Fields' fault, fuck you, because it's not.
I like it.
It never was.
No, hey, by the way, like, what did you guys have, 47 yards of total offense?
Like 47 net yards. Although they counted the sacks as like negative offensive yards, which I think it's kind of bullshit. But either way, it's atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally never seen a rookie quarterback like get that fucking destroyed in their first start. And I mean, I'm just sad that you had to be there for it because I think that might have been literally worst case scenario possible.
It was as bad as I could have imagined. I came in thinking, and they got the first field goal, and I'm like, well, this can't be that bad. Like, maybe and after they give up 10 or whatever it was after the half, I'm like, all right, that's a 7-point deficit. No, it got worse, and it only kept getting worse after that. It was just a shame to watch. And I'm just going to preface it by saying I'm still betting on the Bears this week, and I will for the rest of the season because, I mean, Matt Nagy's going to feast on these bad teams. That's what he does. because they always go, they play a good team, and then they get their shit kicked, and then he goes and they play the Lions or they play the Vikings or they play the Bengals or something, and they go and beat them and play great, and then Matt Nagy's like, oh, I get to keep my job, and then they go and get shit pumped the next week. So yeah, I'm just I'm in disgust.
Martin, what do you think about Sam's take?
I am not a believer in Matt Nagy, and I like Dan Campbell in that matchup 10 times out of 10. Drinks more coffee than I do, and that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah. I love Dan Campbell, and I'll just say it now. That's why I'm taking the Lions +3 in this matchup. So I'm sorry, Sam, but I mean,
I don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you at this point.
For me, it's like the Lions are like a covering machine, kind of. They just keep games close. They don't give up, and that's because of Dan Campbell. He's instilled that culture in that locker room. He's like a beast, and he's not going to let his guys just quit, which I respect.
He never has this season. They've lost 3 really pretty close games that they haven't quit on.
So the Lions are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11. As I said, covering machine. However, they are 1-12 straight up in their last 13 divisional games. So that's not great. But I'm taking them because I think this is a new Lions team with a new energy, new vibe in the locker room. And I think this is going to be a big game for the Dan Campbell Lions. So what do you think, Cam?
I'm not buying anything you say. Sam came in here with the energy I needed, and he convinced me. I'm rolling the Bears train this weekend.
That way.
I got to, Sam.
He's there. That's my boy.
The Lions are never good news. Like, they just never can seem to squeeze the dub out. We seen that last week. The field goal, he shouldn't have made that shit. So I'm going to take Chicago -3 here. Over, under. Both of these offense are fucking terrible. So I'm going to take the under here.
Yeah, so on that note, I'm taking the under as well. I forgot to say that. So
I will be taking the Lions +3. I'm sorry, Bears fan Sam. But like we mentioned before, the Lions have sort of kept these games close. I'm not saying the Lions are going to win, but I think they can keep it close. Jared Goff's been actually playing pretty good for basically having a tight end, and that's it. They don't have a running back. DeAndre Swift, I mean, he's basically their second receiver. And their defense actually is sort of held its own against the Packers, and they did against the Ravens. They got a little bit lucky. The Ravens dropped 2 touchdowns, but that's a different story. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions +3.
You see, I think I see you guys are going for the Lions, and I'd say honestly, if it's more than 3, I'd take the Lions here. Even as Bears fan Sam, I would take the Lions.
No, you wouldn't, Bears fan Sam. You would never do that.
But I think it's +3. It's a tight spread, and it's very little games like +3 is going to get covered with a loss. And I either see the Lions winning this game straight up or getting blown out. I don't think it's going to be a 3-point game, and if it is, I'd be surprised. But honestly, I'm at a loss for words. I think Dan Campbell's a great coach. I'm loving Dan Campbell's electricity, but he's going to get pummeled this week. I think Matt Nagy's he's going to take the visor off, and he's coming in for revenge.
I'm going to take the Lions. I think y'all are forgetting that, they almost beat the Ravens, who beat the Chiefs. And, if Tucker wasn't, amazing, then this spread and this whole story would be completely different. So I got the Lions.
That might be the best take Sean's ever had on this show.
Very insightful.
I completely forgot that game was supposed to be a win by the Lions.
Oh, easily.
And they gave up a 4th and 19 at the end.
Yeah. Most Lions way to lose them.
All of you disgust me. All of you. We got the Rams playing the Cardinals this weekend. We got both undefeated. We got the undefeated Broncos playing the Ravens. We got the Chargers playing the Raiders on Monday night. And we're talking about this game. I was just in Chicago. Beautiful city. Great Vegas bombs in Wrigleyville. Those under 21 don't know what that means, but you will soon. Let me tell you something right now. People in Chicago don't even want to go to this fucking game. They don't even want to go there. But let me just say this. I like your point about the Ravens game, but the Ravens should have won by 5 touchdowns if the receivers could catch the ball. The Bears got annihilated by the Rams in week 1, who, in my opinion, are the best team in the league up to this point. They got beat pretty bad by the Browns. Average offense, great defense. Both on the road. They somehow turned Joe Burrow into an XFL quarterback, and then the next week, Joe Burrow carves up the Steelers like a Thanksgiving turkey, losing me money that week and then losing me money again the next. I just can't believe. So I think the Bears will rally around Soldier Field, which is an amazing venue. It's 3. I honestly think it's going to be like 23-20, and it's going to be a push. This just feels like a field goal, close game. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick the Bears to win and cover.
There he is.
And listen, I'm a Vikings fan, so I honestly hope this game ends in a tie. And it might, because they both are trying to figure out, God, which one of us is worse. This is pathetic. But I'm going to take the Bears. Do I like it? Not really, but I'm going to take the Bears. I think they'll rally at home. And Matt Nagy, they lose this game, it might be over. It just might be.
So, Bears fan Sam, are you rooting for the Bears to lose then so that you get rid of Matt Nagy?
No, because they're not going to get rid of Matt Nagy. This is like last week was literally like the 10th game since last year that it's been like, oh, Nagy has to be gone tomorrow. He's totally going to be gone tomorrow. They don't let go of coaches mid-season. They never have, and they never will. And I mean, they've been giving Matt Nagy every chance, which he doesn't deserve. But I want to see it through, and I want Nagy gone at the end of the season because I think that's the only realistic hope now.
One of my favorite NFL players ever. I forgot to tell you this last week. I want to tell you this now to show you that I do have some respect for the Bears. My 6th or 7th favorite NFL player ever is Devin Hester.
Oh,
And he went to my high school, by the way.
really?
Yes, he did.
He's a legend. Hall of Famer, first ballot easily.
It is the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. So the over-under is 52.5, and San Fran is favored by 3. So we'll go ahead and start with Martin. What is your thoughts on this game? Who are you taking?
Thank you, Tommy. As he, so well prefaced, I am a slut this week for some sports gambling. I'm taking the over-unders. I'm taking the side bets, and I'm just here for it all. When it comes to this game, I love the under on this one. I think the defenses will be flying around, hitting people. Not going to be a real high-scoring affair, but I also do like Russell Wilson plus 3 points. I'm going to take those Hawks, and those are my picks for this game.
All right, so this is a very big problem because I'm on the Seahawks as well. A wise man once said, hungry dog runs faster. They lose this game, they're down to 1-3 in that division. They might be fucked. So I think they got it. Like, I know it's only week 4, right? It might be a must-win game for you.
Seattle plus 3 is my pick. Cam, what do you think?
I'm gonna go San Fran -3, and I'm gonna take the under on this one. I feel like both defense are gonna fly around. Like you said, the Seahawks got to win, and I know Russ is gonna pick up points and put up points on the board, but we're not gonna pretend like the Seahawks get their shit obliterated by the Vikings, Jake's Vikings at that. Last week, 17-30. That shit is sad. Damn near every receiver was averaging 10+ yards. Who's the running back? The backup running back, Jake? Madison?
Alexander Madison, Dalvin Cook's backup. He tore them to shreds. It was beautiful to watch.
Struck pieces of paper. That shit was sad. I didn't even know who he was before this game. And he came out and put up at least like 110+ yards.
Yeah, it was a buck.
I feel like San Fran is -3 for a reason. They're definitely going to put up points considering the Seahawks have no defense whatsoever. Their DBs are terrible. So I'm going to take San Fran -3, and I'm going to take the under as well.
I think we hit all of the solid points. I haven't really been watching the Niners, but I like Russ.
I'm going to back Cam up here, too. I'm going to take San Fran -3. But, yeah, I like the 49ers defense. Jimmy G's been solid this year. Yeah, I'm rolling with the 49ers. I think the Seahawks are a joke. I think they're falling. Russ, I think, is overrated. That offense overrated, and their defense is nowhere close to as good as it was during their Super Bowl years. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with 49ers here.
Seahawks. I root for the Niners, especially when they're playing fucking Green Bay.
All right, so Bears fan Sam, just so you know, we're about to get into our mortal locks here. That's like our best bet of the week.
I know what the mortal locks are.
Okay, yeah, fan of the show. So our locks of the week. And we're gonna go ahead and start with Cam because Cam has been on the show for a while. Cam, go crazy, bro.
Jake, tell me who the top 3 worst teams are.
I would go Jets, Giants, Jaguars.
That's terrible. That's not what I wanted to hear. You didn't mention the Falcons or the Eagles. We'll skip that point.
Cam, the Falcons just beat the Giants last week.
Doesn't matter.
That was my mortal lock last week. I picked them.
You didn't say the Eagles, which is kind of disappointing.
Well, listen, the Eagles' next 2 games are Chiefs-Bucks. They're going to get obliterated in both of them. They're going to be moving down there.
So with that being said, there goes my virtual lock. Patty Mahomes has to come back. He's fucking lost to the Chargers, the Ravens. I bet he's sick as fuck. He's in his room. He's sick as fuck. He thought of a perfect season. That obviously that shit didn't happen. And obviously everyone is going against him and betting that they aren't going to do as good as he said they would. So with that being said, my lock of the week is Chiefs versus the Eagles, the Dirty Birds, -7. This is going to be a fucking scoring show for Patty Mahomes. I can't even name a fucking Eagles DB, let alone an Eagles D lineman.
Darius Slay.
Cook. Who is he going to guard? Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and everyone else on the fucking field? No.
Well, Cam, I'll get into mine because I'm trailing you. I'm taking the same thing. So Patrick Mahomes has lost back-to-back games just twice ever in his career. In those next games after the back-to-back loss, he's won by 24 and 32 points. Spread here is Chiefs -7, like Cam said. We saw last night or 2 nights ago that the Eagles fucking stink. I don't know how they played so good week 1 and kind of week 2, but they just played so bad this week. And I think the Chiefs are probably extremely pissed off right now. So I think that this is the first game they cover in like 17 games, I believe. Something like that. Crazy. So Bears fan Sam, what's your lock of the week?
I'm surprised. I'm honestly shocked no one took this before me, but I'm seeing Tennessee is -7 over the New York Jets. And let me tell you, Zach Wilson is BUST bust. He's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Mr. Interception. And I mean, you could make some excuses for all these other rookie quarterbacks, but he's fucking awful. Robert Saleh, the bald head isn't working over in New York. That team's an absolute dumpster fire right now. They didn't put up a point last week. Tennessee -7. Derrick Henry's going to run a train through them. And this Zach Wilson's going to throw, I mean, probably 4 interceptions for Zach Wilson is probably like -200 because that's probably going to happen. So, yeah, Tennessee -7, lock it in. Throw the mortgage on it.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I will say, though, the one thing you said that you can make excuses for the other rookies, I think that getting drafted to the Jets and having to start right away, like, you're fucked immediately. Like, You saw it with Sam Darnold. Like, he's playing well in Carolina, like, and he looked bad as a Jet. Like, I think that, honestly, maybe Trevor Lawrence, but if you put all the rest of these guys on the Jets instead of Zach Wilson, I think that they're probably still 0-3 no matter what. But
fair enough.
I like that pick. I also think that Zach Wilson's probably the worst out of the first-round QBs, regardless of what team. But
for sure,
yeah. Sean, what's your lock?
Well, I'm torn. I think I'm gonna go with the Giants -7.5 to the Saints.
You mean +7.5?
Yeah.
Yep.
You just picked the Giants?
What is wrong?
We need to check him into a hospital.
Well, it was either that or it was the Texans -17 plus 17.5 to like the
Bills?
Bills. Yeah.
Is Tyrod playing this week?
No.
Fuck.
I
I would.
We
That's
need
why it's
Tyrod
plus
back.
17.5.
Tyrod's a covering machine.
He is Mr.
Seven.
Cover.
Yes.
Pick the Giants.
So Sean, what about the Giants do you like?
They just got like skill players like that can score. They got Saquon, Sterling Shepard is like good this year.
We're talking about the same team that just scored 14 points against the Atlanta Falcons. That's all I just got to say.
Well, the Saints like week 2 scored like 3 points to I forget. but-
Panthers. Yeah, listen, like the Saints are weird. They're up, down, up, down. Yeah,
It's
they're
a Jameis
That doesn't matter. The Giants offense cannot score. The Atlanta Falcons defense is the worst defense in the NFL.
yeah, it's
Well, that's my pick.
he's riding with Big Blue.
I mean,
That's
I
how I
can't
pick.
say my mortal locks aren't as very good so far.
Anthony,
I
what's your mortal lock?
I'm gonna go against my beliefs here. I will say though, I was close last week. The Raiders, I think, had a -4 against the Dolphins. They were -4 with 2 seconds left in the game, and then Jacoby Brissett decided to QB sneak one and force OT. But I'm going with the Pittsburgh Stinkers +7, Green Bay. I think it's going to be pretty similar to the Buffalo game. I'm not saying the Steelers are going to win. I'm just saying I think the Steelers are best when they're doubted, and teams are going to play down to them now because clearly our offense is fucking horrible. But with that being said, our defense is still pretty solid. TJ's going to play this week. We're going to get our edge rushers back. Coverage should be better than it was last week because we'll at least get some pressure on guys. But yeah, I'm going to say Steelers +7 against Green Bay.
My mortal lock is Pittsburgh Steelers versus Green Bay Packers over 45.5 points. As you can tell on the screen where the scoreboard is, my nickname has been retracted. As you know, I've been lying to everybody. I've been lying to myself. I wake up in the mirror every day. I call myself a locksmith. I changed my name in my phone, made all my friends change their name to Dr. Locks, Mr. Locks. And who am I to do that if I can't even provide you guys with a solid pick? Listen, this is the week that I take care of it. All right. It's going to happen this week. Over 45.5 points. Big Ben versus Aaron Rodgers. What is this, 2014 again? This is going to be a high-flying, high-scoring affair. It's going to be very fun to watch. I love that. And just since I have to take the side bet on that, I'll take Pittsburgh +7 just because I'm with a bunch of Yinzers right now on the Zoom call. And
You just jinxed this. You just jinxed this.
I don't know about that, man. I gotta look out for my Yinzers. Najee Harris will probably have a pretty big game. I'm not sure how the receivers are going to fare with Big Ben literally slipping and falling everywhere. But my lock of the week is Pittsburgh versus Green Bay over 45.5 points. And I love Pittsburgh +7 in this game as well. So I'm going to catch up to all of you guys with my picks this week. And, grateful to be a boy upstairs.
So because they just did that, we have officially been jinxed. So Packers -7 probably to play. However, if you are a very religious person and don't believe in superstition, then do whatever you want to do. But
I'll be honest, though. I could care less if the Packers win by 7 points. I think it needs to happen. The Steelers suck. We need to get a good pick. Big Ben needs to hit the road. He sucks. He's done.
Big Ben.
That's all I got to say.
Ever since Big Ben found Jesus, his production's gone way down.
Ever since he gave up porn, it's just like Martavis Bryant. When he got off the weed, he sucked. Now Ben off the porn.
Ben needs porn.
Big Ben needs porn.
Big Ben needs the porn.
Well, gentlemen, in gambling, we often overthink. We think more than we should. Just go with your gut. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. The Denver Broncos have played the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Giants. Those three teams are a combined 0-9 with a point differential of -106. There is not a universe that exists where they should be favored against the Ravens. And their receiving core is banged up. Judy and Hamler are out. They got a good defense. I guess it's a tough place to play, but the Ravens are a better team. They have the best player by a long shot. They that game against the Lions was way closer than it should have been. The Ravens are +1. You can take that. I would just take them outright. They're going to beat the Broncos handily. My bank account hopes that everything I just said proves to be correct.
If there was one lock of the week, for sure, I think the Ravens probably cover. And the fact that they're an underdog to the Broncos is a joke. And I think that
weird.
Well, it's pretty, like, I know half point is like an even game, but I think it's really because Denver is at home and Denver's defense is a lot better than the Ravens' defense. I think that's the only reason.
Well, your defense can look good playing against Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Danny Fumbles.
Well,
Who you?
I mean, they did shut
that's
out.
Cam's team. That's Cam's team you're talking about, Jake.
Yeah,
Danny
calm
Fumbles.
the hell down over there, Jake.
They
But
did.
The Ravens
They did shut out the Jets. So I'll just put that up there.
You guys are on Rattler watch, Cam. Just letting you know.
Not anymore, bro.
Caleb.
They're
Shout
on
out
Caleb
Cam.
watch.
We want Caleb. We don't want Rattler.
Hey,
We're not going to pretend like the Ravens are an up and down, Jake. Like, you guys are the most up and besides the Steelers, you guys are the most up and down team in NFL history. How the fuck do you beat the Chiefs and then go on to have a competition with the fucking Detroit Lions to win a fucking game by a field goal? That makes absolutely no sense
Well,
at all.
the Chiefs are 1-2. The Lions are 0-3. I mean, they're like kind of like neck and neck right there. I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
I think we do see teams in the NFL do play down to their opponents.
Yes, I would.
Any given
And I
Sunday.
think that was a huge win for the Ravens at home. I don't think they expected it. And to then have to go to Detroit and play a shitty team after, basically squeaking by the Chiefs in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
I think it set it up for a disaster to sort of happen there. And they got lucky as shit. That the Lions are the most snake bit team I have
Yep.
ever seen.
Yep.
And I've never seen a kick from 66 yards. Dude absolutely kicked that as hard as he could, hit the crossbar dead on, and somehow still bounced over and went in.
Floated through.
Yeah. I don't know.
Floated through.
Basically bounced off the crossbar and then would have been good from another 5 yards past the crossbar if that were possible.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, it happens in the NFL, so we'll see. Just like I think the Packers are going to do this week, but I don't know if they'll lose.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you guys have a great weekend watching football. Bears fan Sam, thanks for sticking around. Cam, thanks for being here. Sean, Jake, Anthony, as always, thank you. Shout out Martin.
Big Sandy?
Yeah, Big Sandy too. So, yeah, have a good evening.